Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq.
Lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties.
What are we doing? Not we as in you and I mean collectively as a society. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Even the people we're supposed to look up to don't know what the hell's going on. Certainly not the President of America, who's retarded.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Certainly not the richest guy on earth who's eating dinner with the guy he called a pedophile a year before. And certainly not the man who controls them all and might even be dead right now for all we know. The highest members of society are developing a technology that might end all of humanity. But as long as they get to it before the Chinese do, then it's okay.
I don't think anyone knows what will happen or even what is happening now. AI technology is changing at an exponential pace, and the people that are making the AI are very happy to see the entire world destroyed.
I think AI will probably, most likely sort of lead to the end of the world, but in the meantime, there will be great companies created with serious machine learning.
This would have been like if McDonald's in the 90s was like, we're giving you cancer. You're all getting cancer.
Everything is changing so much and so quickly. It's impossible to know where's who and what's when. And your boomer parents are still telling you to follow the American dream, but the meta for being rich and successful isn't to work hard anymore and follow the law. It's to be retarded on social media so you can get paid to promote a gambling website. It's selling a course on how to make an AI OnlyFans girl. And even if you do capitalism right, and you have 3 side hustles and 4 streams of passive income, it doesn't matter because you still can't afford a house and you can barely get basic groceries. And the degree that you had ChatGPT earn for you doesn't mean anything because the company you want to work for is going to replace you with a $20 Claude subscription or an Indian guy who will take 30% of your salary. The systems of the world that were made after World War II are starting to collapse in front of our very eyes. They are so utterly useless and incapable of holding up to the technological and cultural forces that have been unleashed in the last 20 or so odd years. And maybe you're filled with uncertainty after you look at your Instagram feed, which is flooded with man-made horrors beyond human comprehension. And it's tempting to find comfort in the idea that maybe the people at the top, the Epstein listers, the politicians, the billionaires, maybe they have a plan. And while the Goyim are not top priority for them right now, once they get their mass surveillance and police states, maybe you'll be okay. But here's the uncomfortable truth. There isn't a single person on earth right now who knows what the fuck's going on. Sam Altman holds the entire world economy on his back, and he's throwing shit at the wall, seeing what will stick, to desperately try to pay back $1 trillion of debt with a company that makes negative $20 billion in profit a year.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model, but it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to figure out science and whatever to produce you.
So here's what's going on. I don't want to scare anyone. These people all believe that they are communicating with some ancient Sumerian deity. And he just said it out loud, by the way. The 100 million years of evolution, they have all led to this point. And this point is when we are going to give birth to the super intelligent AI who is then going to run the planet and decide who stays, who goes, who's necessary, who's not. If China unleashes the AI demon before we unleash our AI demon, they will sell the world their demon, and then that demon will enslave the world, and then they'll make all the money, and they'll have all the geopolitical leverage, and they'll have all the military advantages. So in this, quote, AI arms race, we are both racing, the US and China, to give birth to an ancient Sumerian super intelligent demon. And your Aunt Connie in Phoenix, who's a receptionist, is fucked.
And so if these people who hold the cards, if these people who pull the strings that you're unwillingly tied to, if they don't understand what's going on, if they don't even have a real plan, we are in the wild, wild west. The world has changed more in the last 30 years than the 3,000 years before it. And the world that exists today will look crazy in 10 years from now. Sometimes we are so caught up in life, we forget that the only thing that matters to humans is eating, sleeping, and fucking. Everything else doesn't matter. It's all concepts we've made up and delusionally act like we respect as a society. It's a social contract we think we've all signed, but it doesn't apply to the people in the clubs that you're not invited to. And yet our whole lives are based on these social contracts that don't matter. And so if nothing matters, embrace the absurd. The world is absurd. And once you truly understand this, you will feel so free. The people at the very top are satanic, degenerate pedophiles. Take a step back from it all and just think about how absurd everything is. Look at what we're expected to do on a daily basis. Isn't it absurd that we sit down and watch porn when there's 4 billion people in the world that we can have sex with? Isn't it absurd that you know somebody who lost their life savings on a parlay because they watched some ad where Kevin Hart told them to use that website? Isn't it absurd that we're all doing this mass humiliation ritual called social media? Isn't it absurd that how an event can happen and we all see it from 20 different angles and we all have access to the same info, and yet 50% of the population thinks the other 50% are retarded for disagreeing with them on their opinion of this one event? We are all fed algorithms by social medias owned by billionaires who go to private islands and do rituals with children. These same billionaires use millions of bot accounts that do nothing but rage bait and confuse you. Isn't it absurd that you're reading an Instagram comment written by a Russian bot that acts like it's on the left because it scrapes its data from an Israeli Reddit bot controlled by Ghislaine Maxwell? Or you're reading your info from a Russian bot that acts like it's fucking right-leaning because it scrapes its data from an Israeli 4chan bot controlled by Jeffrey Epstein, and the social media pages are owned by Mark Zuckerberg's and Elon Musk's, who are friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and TikTok is owned by Hillary Ellison, who also has a private island, and its only visitor was Benjamin Netanyahu. Isn't it absurd how these people control the information that comes from the device you stare at all day? Because your reality is just the information you ingest. And if all your info comes from pixels on your phones, and someone can manipulate those pixels, they can manipulate your reality. They can make you act like whichever phenotype of goyim they want you to be. So why participate in all of this when you can just be yourself? When you can just do what's right, even if it's hard, even if people might judge you? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it?